Welcome to Horror Boys. It's a podcast on the internet. I'm Austin, joined as always by
Chris.
And we are the Horror Boys, and this is an annual podcast on this old internet. Yeah, no, my friends. This is a horror movie review podcast where every week we review a horror movie.
Yeah.
That's the intro. It's always awkward. There's never an ending to the intro. I still haven't figured out how to go from intro to podcast smoothly. I've never done it.
It is a little bit weird because, we'll just talk about the movie that we're reviewing.
That's too much work. It breaks my brain.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about another Halloween movie because we're going through Halloween right now. So
Yeah.
we're talking about Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. And do I have opinions? Yes, and we'll get to them.
Fair.
Director and co-writer is Dominique Othenin-Girard of The Omen 4, alongside Horror Bois alum, special makeup effects artist Tibor Farkas of Friday the 13th Part 8, special effects coordinator Gary Paller of also Friday the 13th 8, stuntman Danny Virtue of Friday the 13th 8, and Final Destination Martin.
Notice a pattern here.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Martin Cummins of Friday the 13th Part 8. And
Wait, hold on a minute.
Brent State of Final Destination 5. That's right. That was the right guess. What do you think I was going to say? Like Friday the 13th 8? No. We also have two other co-writers in Michael Jacobs and Shem Bitterman. That's it. They didn't really have anything that I felt was worthy of bringing up here. Not worthy. That seems... I don't like that word phrasing. Not worthy. Nothing
Relevant.
stuck out to me. Then we have our composer, the returning Alan Howarth.
Which, in this movie in particular, I would like to say, felt really terrible in comparison to every other Halloween movie. And I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was the dorky clown music that showed up whenever the cops.
Yeah, no, there is that. There is that part that
felt like an 80s sitcom.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'll complain about that when it actually happens. But no,
that made me really angry for reasons I don't know.
And I respect that. But Alan Howarth has been working on the franchise since Part 2, so he's good.
Yeah. Well, normally.
Yeah, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe it was, direction. I think, I don't know. I have no idea. Honestly, for me, other than that stupid clown sound effects, which I don't understand why that happened, I really didn't mind his score. It felt like a score. Was it special and stood out? No. But I didn't have an issue with it other than that. Which, I don't know. Well, I don't even know what to say about that. But I'll complain again when we actually get to that part of the movie. Our director of photography is Robert Draper of Shudder's Creepshow, the series. Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, and Tales from the Crypt. He's just really into being a director of photography on, what's it called? Anthology, like, horror programs?
Yeah.
Our production designer is the late Brenton Swift of The Aviator, My Demon Lover, and Hexed, alongside Horror Bois alums stuntman Russell Towery of Texas Chainsaw 3D, stuntman Greg Brazil. Probably Brazil, not Brazil. It's definitely not Brazil. Also of Texas Chainsaw 3D, stuntman and actor Jim Henry, also of Texas Chainsaw 3D, and the late Arlie Ermey of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03, not 3D this time, and also Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. Yeah. Ooh. Then we have our special makeup effects supervisors. That's right, there's more than one because it's The Canby FX group of Robert Kurtzman, Greg Nicotero, and Howard Berger, who've done way too many movies to bring up all of them, but I will highlight that they worked on Wishmaster, Scream, The Faculty, and, most recently, Bride of a Reanimator.
Yeah, well, most recently for our coverage of movies.
Yeah, for our podcast. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
To make things clear.
Yeah. Now, most recently, they actually haven't done, I don't know, that would have been like probably 2006 that the three of them worked all on something together, because they no longer work together. I think Kurtzman left. But that. I don't have any details on why or anything. We're not going to speculate, so let's move on to the next thing here, which is our special effects coordinator, Greg Landerer of The Terror Within, The Supernaturals, The Hidden, and Death Warrant, alongside Horror Bois alums Joshua John Miller of Halloween 3, stuntman the late Gene LaBelle of Friday the 13th 5, and, stuntman Anthony Cesare of Scream 1, 2, 22, Nightmare on Elm Street, New Nightmare, Child's Play, Jack Frost 2, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03. Then we have our stunt coordinator, Lee Allen McConnell. I don't know why my brain had so much trouble with McConnell. It's not that hard of a name. Lee Allen McConnell of Star Trek VI, Dolly Dearest, The Hidden, The Visitor, and is a Horror Bois alum for Nightmare on Elm Street. Also mentioned that Halloween 4's Michael Myers, the late George Wilbur, is credited as a stuntman for this movie. I did, while watching the documentary, I think that might literally be just for, like, the scene that the movie opens with, where, you know, it's from the last movie, as well as shows a little bit more that was filmed for the last movie, but put into this movie for the first time.
Yeah.
But he is proud to be able to say that he was in both of these. Then we have, what's this? I don't know what this is. We have something else on this list.
Oh, yes. Horror Bois Theater.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I said I would never say it again after those times I said it, because I don't like saying
Horror Bois Theater.
So I just don't say it.
Horror
I never
Bois
say.
Theater.
I know that was wrong. That wouldn't make it. That
Horror
didn't make
Bois
sense
Theater.
there.
Horror
Chris, you're just saying it.
Horror Bois Theater.
All right. Well, it's time for
Horror Bois Theater.
Breakdown.
Breakdown.
I mean, I can say breakdown. I'm allowed to say breakdown. I never said I wouldn't say breakdown. I said I wouldn't say
Horror Bois Theater.
I will sometimes say Horror Bois, quite often. And hypothetically speaking, if it made sense, I would say theater. But I would never, ever say
Horror Bois Theater.
Thank you. I will be playing the voices of Loomis, Rachel, Billy, Deputy Tom, Mikey, Samantha, Nurse Patsy, the Gardener, the Bullhorn Cop, Mole Man, Cop in Field, Fat Sniper, and Eddie.
And I'll be playing Jamie, Sheriff Meeker, Mountain Man, Dr. Hart, Deputy Nick, Tina, Spitz, the Announcer, Pageant Cop, Deputy Charlie, and, as everyone's favorite character, SWAT team member.
The greatest character of all time.
A timeless classic, truly.
Of course, yes. Everyone loves SWAT team member, who I do not know who plays them because it's just a random person who shows up in a SWAT vest. I'm like, oh, he has a line, but I don't know who he was supposed to be. So, yeah. But yeah, I think it's time to start the movie. So we open with our title card, followed by credits, or shots of knife swipes that are revealed to be jack-o'-lanterns, like being made / also destroyed. It seems for sure some of these swipes would not be a creation of a jack-o'-lantern, but it's all pumpkins getting sliced.
Yeah.
Out of the credits, we get a recap of the taking out of Michael from the last movie with a bonus well explosion. Ooh.
Yeah.
Michael crawls to a river and is carried away by the current as the Halloween theme plays. Roll the credits. It's over. We did the Halloween theme. It's time to go home, and it's actually not a bad movie. in this one scene. I mean, I feel like it's a little weird to release one scene as a movie. I feel like this should have just been like a bonus feature on the Halloween 4 DVD. But, you know, fair enough. No, wait. We have to talk about the rest of the movie?
Yeah.
Oh. You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I could grab my notes from Halloween 4 and we could just talk about that again.
Nah, I'd rather not.
Oh, I would. I'd rather do that than this.
That's fair.
Michael Myers. I guess I was jumping to the wrong part. It does start with Michael. Michael Myers is played by Horror Boy alum Don Shanks of I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. Which means he is in a rarefied air of being the only man to ever play the Fisherman and Michael Myers.
It's true.
There's only been like 2 people who've ever played the Fisherman. The one guy who was in the first 2, yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter. He can say that. Don Shanks can say that.
And only Don Shanks.
That is true. Michael washes up on the bank and heads to a makeshift hut. In sight, we meet a man and his parrot, Tookie. Mountain Man, as he is credited, is played by the late Harper Roisman of The Cable Guy, alongside Horror Boy alums David Bowe of Rubber and Sean Whalen of Hatchet 3 and Idle Hands. Tookie makes noises, and Mountain Man says,
"Hey, Tookie."
Tookie continues. So Mountain Man
Be
says,
quiet.
We switch to killer POV as Myers enters the hut. Mountain Man hears a noise outside and goes to investigate. When he comes back in, he says,
"There's nothing out there, Tookie."
He turns around and Michael gets him with the double goozle, but passes out before he can choke Mountain Man. That's the end of that scene.
Yeah.
We then get a card that says, Halloween Eve, 1 year later.
Yeah.
That's a year later now, guys.
Yeah. Time has passed.
I will also mention here with the whole Mountain Man, if that feels really out of place, that's fair, and it is. And that's because initially, when they initially wrote it, and they actually shot all this, but then decided to reshoot it when they wanted to step back some of the supernatural element. Not all of it, as you'll see soon. But, excuse me. This was apparently supposed to be like a witch doctor that resurrected Michael, probably connected to the Cult of Thorn, which we will loosely mention in this movie and go in depth in the next movie.
In the next movie? Oh boy.
Yeah.
God help us all.
No, it's honestly, I remember enjoying it more than this one, but that's not saying a lot. What? Oh, didn't say that. Moving on. We then get, I already said that, get a card. It's raining outside, and we head to the Haddonfield Children's Clinic, is what it says on the screen, but then later in dialogue, it like gets like an actual name. I forgot what it is, but we'll get to it when it like said later. There is multiple times later where like the actual parent like name of the clinic is brought up. Not until then, though. At this point, it's Haddonfield Children's Clinic, which, you know, sounds like the name of the clinic, but it's not. Actually, to be fair, I think that card actually might have, the title card might have said Children's Clinic, Haddonfield, Illinois. So I guess, to be fair, they never said it was the Haddonfield Children's Clinic. Well, we see Jamie tossing and turning in bed. Jamie is played by the returning Danielle Harris. Which I just want to make sure if she ever sees this, Danielle Harris, I support you as an actress. It's him who's a jerk, who doesn't like you. I think you're amazing.
I thought she was actually really good in this movie.
And that is fair. I actually do think she stepped up her game in this movie from last movie. I also think she was amazing in the last movie, but we won't argue about that today. We didn't really argue about it last time either, but we'll just move on. We see she's dreaming about when she stabbed her mom in the last movie, with some new shots of the actual stabbing. Yeah. Mrs. Carruthers is played by the returning Karen Alston, and also was probably not actually returning, and this was just shot from the last movie that didn't make it in, and they put it in this. But, you know, she is credited, so I will mention her. She wakes up and lets out an inaudible scream. And you're like, what? Why? Well, it's because since the incident, Jamie has been mute. which is only the, I guess at this point, second of weird decisions this movie made. But don't worry, there will be more. And there will be worse ones.
There will be at least a few more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure we can't just talk about Halloween 4 again?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Nurse Patsy comes in to check on Jamie. Nurse Patsy is played by Betty Cavallo of Die Hard, alongside Horror Boy alums, the stuntman and actor, the late Fred Lerner of Halloween 4. That's it. I said it like there was... I thought it was Horror Boy alums, but it's actually just Horror Boy alum. It's just stuntman and actor, the late Fred Lerner of Halloween 4. Nurse Patsy says... I believe I'm Nurse Patsy, right? Yes, I am. Nurse Patsy says... It's all right. It's all right, darling. She's apparently a Jewish woman. Jamie. Jamie. It's just another one of your nightmares. That's all. Oh, poor darling. Look at me. Do you want me to call your mom? Oh, Jamie. As Nurse Patsy embraces Jamie, Jamie opens her hand. We, the audience, see Michael open his hand at the same time.
Wow.
They have a psychic link! Okay.
Another decision.
I mean, I guess it's kind of hinted at the end of the last... I guess, or that's how they've retconned what happened at the end of the last movie. Honestly, the psychic link, I wouldn't even have that big of a problem with if it was, like, just done better. Yeah, but, you know... It's just kind of randomly thrown together. Also, you know, when Michael turns his hand over, we see the symbol of the cult of Thorn on his wrist.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get into that more when it actually is relevant to the plot. So, not this movie. We then see a shot of Jamie's face as she realizes that Michael is waking up. We cut back to Michael, who gets up off the slab he has been lying on during his coma / I guess, death. Because then also, like I said earlier, it was maybe supposed to be a situation where he was resurrected. Hence also the slab feels a little bit more, you know, witch doctor-y than random guy. But, you know, whatever, you know. We couldn't make it all make sense when we redid the script. To be fair, they did start shooting this movie without a finished script.
That's
and you can
good.
And you can tell.
I think that's what you're supposed to do when you start making a movie, is just
actually
wing it.
Hear me out. No.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually not recommended.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah. Back to the clinic when Nurse Patsy says, I'll call the doctor. I don't know why she's so happy about it. Jamie grabs her chalkboard and writes, he's coming for... Before we cut back to Michael putting on his mask. We see Jamie psychically linked to Michael as she imitates Michael's actions. Michael kills Mountain Man.
Oh.
Not Mountain Man! Chris had such a good Mountain Man voice, and you'll never hear it again.
Gone forever.
Yep. This sends Jamie into convulsions. Nurse Patsy re-enters the room. Nurse Patsy tries to calm down Jamie and says, Oh, Jamie! Jamie! Doctor! Get a gurney! Somebody! We cut to Jamie being wheeled on a gurney through the clinic by 2 nurses and Dr. Hart. Dr. Hart is played by Max Robinson of Pixel Perfect and Silent Night, Deadly Night, alongside Horror Boy alum Linnea Quigley of Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which in that movie, Linnea Quigley plays the soul in Freddy's chest that's just a set of boobs. Yeah. We stick with them moving Jamie from her room to the ER, including going down the stairs. It goes on for a while, with a decent amount of inconsequential dialogue. It's only 40 seconds, but that's a noticeable amount of time when nothing is happening. But don't worry, it's not like they it's oh, you're probably thinking, oh, they had to pad out the movie, right? No. This movie is 8 minutes longer than 4. But
it is.
We have a pointless 40-second scene here.
Yeah, and the beginning of this movie is already a very slow-paced movie. Especially compared to the other Halloween films.
Well, not Halloween 3. That movie was slow the whole time. Yeah. But, honestly, and, here's the thing. I understand people who don't like Halloween 3. That's fair. But I feel like Halloween 3's, slowness is deserved. They're trying to tell, a slow burn story of, this is not. This is just bad filmmaking. There's no reason for them to stick with this shot of them going down the stairs for 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Dr. Hart is about to cut Jamie's throat for a tracheotomy, but Loomis shows up yelling, "No! No!" Dr. Hart asks,
"What are you doing?"
"Leave her."
"This girl is dying. I have to open up her trachea, for God's sake." Oops.
Yeah, there's more line there. I don't know why you stopped there. That was weird.
Yeah.
"She will stabilize."
"She's dying."
"No." Jamie stops, struggling for breath. Loomis asks, "You see?"
"I see you still want this girl dead."
"She has something to tell us." Loomis is played by the returning and late Donald Pleasance. We cut to the next morning. Loomis looks into Jamie's room when he sees Rachel sleeping in a chair next to Jamie's bed. Rachel is played by the returning Ellie Cornell. Jamie is playing with Rachel's hair. Rachel is startled awake when Loomis closes the door. Rachel says, "Hey there, funny face." Jamie points at Rachel's face. Rachel says, "What?" Before realizing Jamie was telling her about her eyeliner dripping, Rachel replies, "Thank you." We then hear banging at the window and hear Tina yelling,
Hey, open up."
Tina is played by Wendy Foxworth. Jamie mouths Max. Mouth it, Chris, for the video listeners. Thank you. Because Tina also has Rachel's new dog Max outside with her. Rachel opens the window saying, "They don't allow Max in here."
"Get in there, Max."
Max goes over to Jamie. Rachel replies, "Tina?"
You know what they can do if they can't take a joke?
She doesn't even remember.
Is she really better?
Rachel nods. Tina turns to Jamie and says,
Hey.
They hug. Tina, as she makes kissing sounds, says,
"Give me some of this action, baby."
Jamie mouths, "What did you get for me?" Tina says,
I'm out.
"I know, I saw."
Alright. What? I wonder what Rachel's hiding behind door number 3.
She then vocalizes the song Fanfare. You don't have to do that if you don't want, Chris. That's fair.
I won't.
Rachel says, "Ta-da," and she reveals a pink princess dress. Oh, sorry. Rachel says, "Ta-da," and she reveals a pink princess dress. Jamie goes over to look at it. Rachel says, "It'll look so good." Tina is still dancing around and vocalizing. Tina says,
Billy's gonna have to go... Billy's going to have to fight off a lot of boys.
"Billy's gonna freak." In walks Loomis, who says, "What is going on here?" He looks over at Max. Tina laughs and says,
"Gee, I'm sorry. Come on, Max. Bye, sweetie. I love you."
She leaves with Max. Rachel kneels down and holds Jamie's hand. "I'll be back in 2 days, okay? Mom and Dad send their love." The girls hug. A rock comes crashing through the window and we hear a car peeling out. Loomis picks up the rock and removes a note that says, "The evil child must die." We cut to Rachel and Loomis leaving the clinic. Rachel says, "How could they? When are they going to realize that she is not him? She's just a child." "They know Michael Myers is her uncle, and that she attacked her stepmother. That's why they fear her. Especially on Halloween. And I'll pause there to say, they also decided to undo, her killing her mother. She just stabbed her. She's fine, though. She didn't come back, to be in the movie.
Nah.
But they did, you would think, did this, really strain the, relationship between parents and child? Fair enough, right? But also, they adopted her since the last movie, because she is her stepsister now, or not step, whatever, it's the adopted sister, whatever. They both have the same last name, and she no longer calls her foster sister.
Yeah.
So, throughout all this trauma, they don't want to have anything to do with her, but are willing to take the legal burden for her.
Mm-hmm. You understand.
No, actually, I don't.
Yeah. It's okay. Neither did the, people who made the film.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Rachel says, I never should have let my parents talk me into leaving. I don't know what I was thinking. You are afraid. I am not. You're afraid the whole thing might start to happen again. There's nothing wrong with being afraid. And I suppose there's nothing wrong with just leaving my little stepsister, I guess it is stepsister, here alone. You could telephone her from the cabin. She'll be properly looked after. Then why do I still feel guilty? We cut to Rachel, Tina, and Max walking to Rachel and Max's house. Rachel says, I'm worried about Jamie.
So stick around.
I already promised my parents.
Promises are made to be broken, babe.
I don't know.
The farm's parties always rock. Think about it.
Rachel smiles and says, okay.
I got a jet. Bye. Bye. Be back with the outfits.
See ya, Tina. If you're confused by the double bye there, one of them was to Max.
Yeah.
She says bye to the dog as well. I believe she says bye to the dog first. Because she has her priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Max barks at some bushes. Rachel says, Max! Max! What is it? Come on, Max. Oh, come on. We see that in killer POV, showing that Max was right and sensed the danger of Michael's presence. Wait, no. It's not killer POV. It's over the killer's shoulder POV?
You understand.
Yeah, we get that a couple times. We also get, traditional, killer POV, but then there's times where, the camera then turns to being over his shoulder because you see part of his head. And it just feels that feels less, part of what makes the killer POV feel so powerful is that you're putting yourself in it, in the footsteps of the. And I don't know, I just feel like they undermined it. But
fair.
Whatever.
It made a lot of questionable decisions in this movie.
Yeah, and this is honestly probably one of the least of them. But Rachel is listening to music and feeds Max. She heads upstairs and takes a shower. We cut back and forth between Michael entering the back door with Max barking at him and Jamie at the clinic getting a vision of what happens. She draws a mouth in the kid's mural, on the kid's mural, as she breathes heavily. I will mention that there is actually this really cool stylistic shot where we see the drawing from the point of view of behind the drawing. It's it's shot behind glass and she's drawing on glass, even though it's supposed to be the board she's drawing. It looks really cool. I will respect the cinematography for that shot.
Yeah. That one shot specifically.
No, honestly, the cinematography is pretty decent in this movie in general.
Yeah, no,
it's actually really pretty. It's really well shot, which is also somewhat the director to knowing what shots to ask for and stuff. So I will give the director credit for that. He's also one of the writers, so I won't give him credit for that. Or I will give him credit for that, and you could take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Jamie starts desperately mouthing Max. Billy comes over and says, Max? He turns around to get help and immediately runs into Loomis. Billy is played by Jeffrey Landman of Home Alone 2. We cut to Rachel, who gets out of the shower because her phone is ringing. She answers it and it's Gusvit! Wait, no, it's just Billy Loomis. Wait, sorry. No, it's Dr. Sam Loomis. Sorry, wrong Loomis. Loomis asks, Oh, Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. I was just in the shower. Is Max alright? Max is having fun. He's been barking at a cat all morning. Go and check him. Well, why? Go and check him now! Alright. Hold on. I have to go downstairs. She does, and we see her walk into the kitchen past some killer POV. Yeah. She sees the door open, and Max is gone. But doesn't see Michael behind her. She backs up and grabs the phone, and we cut to Loomis and hear her say, "Ah! Rachel!" Rachel replies, "Dr. Loomis, Max is gone." You silly listeners, you thought they were gonna kill Rachel, didn't you? Like they would kill one half of the thematic force that helped make the last movie so good. As if. So Loomis says, "Listen to me. Drop the phone. Go to the nearest door. Get out of the house. Quickly. Now go on." She drops the phone and heads out the back door. We see through killer POV her run and talk to the neighbor, Mr. Cornish, for help. We cut to a little while later when deputies Nick and Tom are exiting Rachel's house.
And then really goofy clown music starts playing.
Yep.
And it's really annoying for no reason.
It just happens as they're walking towards Rachel, I guess because they're, the bumbling cops. But we couldn't just have them be bumbling. We had to make sure you as an audience member knew that they were bumbling and supposed to be the comic relief. So like, hey, clown music, now you know it's okay to laugh. Yeah, it was a choice.
Yeah.
It's not my least favorite choice in the movie, but it is not a choice I respect.
Probably like top 3 least favorite choices they made in this movie.
It might be about where I put it. I don't know. I haven't actually sat down and thought about which of the choices I dislike the most. I'm not sure. I know which one I dislike the most, and we will get to that. I think multiple times I'll complain about that, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Deputy Nick Ross is played by Frankie Como. Deputy Tom Farrig is played by David Urson of Critters 2, Die Hard, Space Jam, and Ready to Rumble alongside Horror Bois alums, production designer James Hinkle of Hatchet 3 and The Final Destination, Joey Pants, It's Joey Pants. Come on, he was in Chucky.
Pantoliano.
I think this is one of those times where I wrote it out of order. He was in Chucky season 2, like one episode. It's a really good episode, but that's not the point of this. There's also Richard Lineback of Friday the 13th 5, Bill Goldberg of Santa's Sleigh, the late Louis Arquette of Scream 2, Rose McGowan of Scream, and David Arquette of Scream through Scream 2022. Deputy Nick says, which I believe is you. I believe you're Nick and I'm... Yeah, you're Nick, I'm Tom.
Yeah.
So.
Now, is Nick the little guy?
Nick's like the little guy with like the slightly like Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, he's the Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Ockley.
Sorry, I lost my place.
Actually, Ockley.
Nothing above, nothing below. Well, what about Max?
Adobe, right?
And he gestures over to Max running down the sidewalk to them. This is not happening to me. Max, what have you done? I'm so embarrassed.
That's what we're here for.
Rescue cats.
Find dogs.
That's our job.
And we love it.
And they walk away as we get another bit of their clown theme.
Yeah.
We cut to Jamie on the phone with Gusved. Wait, no, it's Rachel. Who says, "Bye, sweetie. I love you. You be a good girl. Bye." So, she was perfectly alright. Jamie turns away from him sad. Loomis grabs Billy's hand and says, "Come on, Billy. I think Jamie needs to get some rest." Excuse me. Billy pulls away from Loomis and says, Jamie, are you okay? Billy tries to put his hand on Jamie's shoulder, but she keeps pulling it away and pushing him away. Loomis guides Billy out, saying, "Come on." After Billy leaves the room, Loomis closes the door and turns back to Jamie. "You sense something, don't you? Tell me. Tell me what you know. Here, right. He hands her a marker and paper. Jamie just cries. "Write what you know, Jamie. Please. Please." He walks away in a huff. We cut to Rachel blow-drying her hair. She heads to her closet to grab a sweater, and we get killer POV from the closet. Yet somehow Rachel can't see Michael in the closet. I guess she didn't really look that deep into the closet, but still. It was a little bit one of those horror movie decisions where you're like, I'm pretty sure she could see him. Because I can see him, which means she should be able to see him.
Yeah.
She puts on a sweater, and we see Michael exit the closet behind her. She hears Max barking. She sighs and says, "Max!" She walks out of her room and down the hall to see Max barking at the house. Not the neighbor's cat. Like, barking at their house, not at the neighbor's cat. She says, right. "Max?" She hears the sound of breaking glass and enters Jamie's old room. She finds a picture of Jamie on the floor with the glass shattered. Or frame, I think it was what it was supposed to. That's why it says gram. I think it was supposed to be frame.
I mean, it was the glass that
was
shattered.
Also the frame. But, like, the glass, it's still... The glass is part of the picture frame. The glass is shattered, okay? When she stands up, she's stabbed to death by Michael with a pair of scissors.
Yep.
Because this movie apparently hates the movie it's a direct sequel to and wants to ruin everything the last movie set up. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was my inner thoughts just coming out on the page. Yeah, it was such a weird choice, and we'll get to even later. I will point out later why it's even weirder of a choice at a couple other points. But yeah, she was killed. Apparently her death was supposed to be like way more brutal, but the actress thought it was really like insulting that she was in such a little movie and then had such a like just brutal death for the sake of brutalness. So she like talked them out of it and got paid more. So good for her.
Yeah. Does suck that most of her death happens off screen.
Yeah.
Where she gets stabbed with a pair of scissors.
Yeah.
And she is still alive, and then it cuts, and...
Yeah. Well, she bleeds out, obviously.
Well, yeah. So anyways.
Yeah. Where was I? We cut to Jamie convulsing with Dr. Hart and Nurse Patsy over her. Dr. Hart says...
The digitalis should have taken effect by now. Another dose might stop her heart.
We cut to Loomis at the police station with Sheriff Meeker. Sheriff Meeker is played by the returning Bo Star. Loomis says, "She was shaking! Her whole body was shaking!"
Every time that little girl twitches, I'm supposed to call out the National Guard.
How many people did he kill last year? Have you forgotten? Your own daughter?
Meeker turns and yells, "I don't..."
No, of course you don't forget. How could you? But you never looked into his face, did you? You never saw his eyes. You never saw that nothing. No expression. Blank. My memory goes back 12 years to the night when I offered. I'm going to show you something. Look at this. He lifts up his burned hand. Loomis continues. Look at that. I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, I knew that hell would not have him. Deputy Markland walks in and says, Deputy Markland?
I don't know, but I'm presuming he only shows up at this one scene, so I guess I'll be him.
No, I think I need to be him because he talks to
Oh, okay.
you. Deputy walks in and says, Sheriff, they want you down at the cemetery. Deputy Markland, or as he's credited, young policeman, is played by Shanton Davis. We cut to Tina arriving at the Crothers home. No, I guess there is no response from any, so I guess either one of us could have played that. It didn't matter. But whatever. She tries the front door, but it's locked, and Rachel obviously doesn't answer her calling out for her. From killer point of view, we see Tina head to the backyard. In the backyard, she runs up to a barking Max and says,
Maxie!
She makes kissing noises towards him and heads to the back door. Max continues barking.
Chill out, Max. I'll get you water in a second.
She heads inside and calls out,
Rachel? Rachel?
We watch her in killer point of view from the living room. She calls out,
Rachel, I got you a present. Rachel!
She hears the record player static and walks over and stops the player. She heads upstairs, still calling out Rachel. Tina looks around for Rachel and says,
Rachel? Gonna miss you, baby.
She heads into Jamie's rooms and gets serious like she found something, like blood or a body, but no, she doesn't find anything. She just kind of is there. There's like a double thing, like she walks in really slowly, then like hugs a stuffed animal, sits on the bed, then she gets up and like looks down, and like you're like, oh, she sees blood or something, and then nothing, no actual reaction to that, and she gets spooked by the doorbell.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. This movie's so annoying at times. So yeah, so she hears the doorbell and heads back downstairs to answer it. She says,
Sammy!
She opens the door, but no one is there. Then Sammy jumps out and says, Boo! They both giggle and hug. Sammy says, It's Halloween, right? Sammy is played by Tamara Glynn of Terrifier 2 alongside Horror Boy alum Felissa Rose of Victor Crowley. Tina says,
Can you believe we have this whole house to ourselves for the weekend?
But, Tina, that's what you said before, remember?
Oh, Sammy, all your circuits on hold or what?
They head to the back door. But, Tina, I thought Rachel was lurking around.
Oh, I did too, but I guess she decided to go out to the country with her parents.
Max is still barking.
Oh, Max, shut your canine trap.
And they leave, as we see through the window Michael standing in the living room. Tina turns around, and Michael's gone. I also really quickly wanted to point out that Tina promised Max water and never gave him water. Tina is a horrible person.
Yeah.
Not only is her character somewhat annoying, which I won't blame the actress for, I will blame the writing. I feel like this is probably what it was exactly on the script, and the actress did what she was told to.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Tina is a very annoying character. And yeah, she also like is just like, I'll get you water. Oh no, actually I won't. Whatever. I forgot. My friend showed up. Now I'm gonna go hang out with her. All right.
Yeah.
So we cut to the clinic where Jamie is tossing in her sleep, and we'll cut back to her tossing throughout this next scene. But I'm not gonna mention every time she's tossing because it's literally just she's tossing in her bed. Outside the clinic, we see Tina and Sammy. Tina says,
Sammy, why don't you bag spits tonight?
I couldn't do that.
Oh, sure you could.
Oh, no, I can't.
Oh, come on. Oh, you're blushing. Come on, come on. You can't hide anything from me. Come on.
This may be it.
It? What are you saying?
God, I can't talk to you about this.
Oh, come on, come on. I mean, you're planning something. I mean, what are we talking here? Like candles and a musical massage and leopard sheets?
Satin.
Oh, did you say something?
I said satin.
Okay, it didn't pick up for some reason.
It,
Cool. Satin sheets?
They're Rachel's. They both laugh and scream. That's most of Tina's character is laughing and screaming.
Yeah.
Tina says,
Flip my skirt. What? What do you want me to do? What can I do? What can I do? I mean, do you want to make up signals or something?
Tina giggles.
What? Come on, you guys can have the house to yourselves. It's cool. Mikey and I like it in the car. You know, musical harmonica playing.
You don't have to explain it, Chris. You could just move on.
In the
rest
car.
of your line.
You know, in the car.
Okay.
Uh.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey, don't worry about it. Just say, oh, honey, don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, honey, don't worry about it.
I'm not worried. I've just been in a weird mood all day.
Well, everybody in this town is in a weird mood. They should ban Halloween in this town. Michael!
Michael pulls over yelling, "Who's Michael?" It's me. It's Mike.
You.
Mikey. Makes sense. Not Mike. Mikey. Not Michael. It's not.
Well, he is Michael, but...
Yeah, but he's gonna go by Mikey. What? Oh, yeah, I guess okay, I skipped the whole line. That's why it got really confusing. We see a convertible that's passing by stop and drive to them as the driver, Michael, or Mikey, pulls over yelling, "What?" Mikey, I don't know. I gotta call him Mikey because there's also Michael. He's Mikey, and then there is Michael. Mikey is played by Jonathan Chapin of Twice Dead, Say Anything, 16 Candles, and Risky Business alongside Horror Boy alum Joey Pantoliano. I got it that time.
There you go.
That's it. The girls run over to him, and Tina hops in the front seat.
Hey, you're just in time to give us a ride.
Then Tina and Mike kiss. Tina turns to Sammy, who hasn't got in the car, and says,
Come on, Sammy. Sorry about last weekend, aren't you, Mikey?
No. Tina hits him in the arm and says,
See?
Tina, I thought you wanted to see Jamie. Look, you're killing me, babe, okay? Would you just get in?
We can go later, right, Mikey? Right?
Mikey doesn't answer and just puts on his glasses. Sammy gets in and they drive off.
Okay. I was like, what is...
I have no idea what I tried to write, but that's roughly what it probably should have been. Jamie wakes up and hobbles over to the window. She looks outside and sees Michael by a tree. She starts to freak out and runs out of the room. She sees a Michael-esque shadow behind the frosted glass of a door. Could that be Michael? We don't know. So she runs away and heads downstairs. We then see Michael following her through shots of his legs and torso. She runs through the laundry room with where some sheets are hanging. She is scared by more shadows on the sheets. She continues running away and heads into the boiler room. She hides up on a ledge, and we see another shot of Michael's leg approaching her. He grabs her, and Michael says... the gardener says, "It's alright. It's alright." She tries to sign to him to explain what's going on, and he asks, "What are you doing down here? Come on, it's okay." Nurse Patsy walks up and says, "There you are. We've been waiting, we've been looking all over for you. Come to me, baby, come on. What's happened? Was it one of your dreams? Again? Come on." Whoever wrote this movie, the three writers need to be banned from ever using the words "come on" ever again.
Yeah.
They've said "come on" in this script like 20 times, at least, in the last 5 minutes. The gardener is played by the late Jack North. What was he in with those people? because I accidentally cut that out. Jack North was in a movie that I somehow didn't write down with actors Ryan Felipe of I Know What You Did Last Summer, Don Ray Sampson of Halloween 4, and George Sullivan, also of Halloween 4. So look up those actors and see what movie they were all in together. I don't remember what it was, guys.
There you go.
Normally I have that information, but I guess when I was like copying it over at some point, I accidentally didn't copy part of it over. We cut to Loomis entering Jamie's room upstairs. Loomis says, "You've got to help me, Jamie. You've got to help me find him. We both know he's alive." He then grabs her leg and starts shaking them as he yells, "But you know where he is! Why? Why aren't you protecting him?" He walks toward the side of her bed and pushes a table over. He grabs her by the shoulders and says, What about your stepmother, Jamie? You love her, don't you? He made you stab her. You can't hide from him. He can always get to you, Jamie. Jamie, listen. Today in the cemetery, somebody dug up a coffin. It was a coffin of a 9-year-old girl. What do you think he's gonna do with that? Huh? You're 9 years old, aren't you, Jamie? Nurse Patsy comes in and says, Dr. Loomis, leave the little girl alone. Loomis lets go of Jamie's shoulder and says, Tears won't get you anywhere. Help me to find him. We'll find him together. There's a reason why he has a power over you. Don't you ever wonder what it is? We cut to a bus arriving in town near the discount store from part 4. A man wearing black gets out of the bus. We don't see his face.
Cowboy boots with silver points on them.
We only see his legs. He's got these black cowboy boots with silver points on them.
And we know that he's bad because he walks into a dog and it yelps a little bit.
Doesn't even care. Doesn't look back or anything. Just walks right through the dog.
Yeah.
How evil. The man in black is also played by Horror Bois alum Don Shanks, who's Michael Myers, if you didn't remember from earlier. He played both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're wondering more about the man in black,
too bad.
Yeah, there's no real answers. He will show up a couple more times, and they do eventually explain him away a little bit in 6. But when they filmed this, they had no idea what they were going to do with him, and just put him in there going like, we'll figure something out for 6, and this will be teasing it. They had no idea what they were doing, and just threw this character in.
Yeah, and it really does feel like it in this movie.
Yep. We then cut to Loomis.
Like, who's this guy? And you don't ever find out, ever.
And don't worry, they didn't have an answer. We cut to Loomis. I know I said that, but where was that?
Armed with a gun, arriving at the Myers house.
Arriving outside the Myers house. He enters the now totally different looking and much bigger and gothic house. Loomis calls out, Michael! Have you come home? Michael? I know what you want from her. Hears rattling from the laundry chute and checks it. After Loomis rounds at the corner, we see the man in black is in the house and has the Cult of Thorns symbol tattoo on his wrist like Michael!
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loomis, now in the basement, hears rattling from the laundry chute again and goes to investigate it from this end. He opens it and is jump scared by a dead animal and a live rat. Loomis laughs at this and relatches the laundry chute. We cut to over the killer's shoulders POV as he watches the girls cross the street to the convenience store that Mikey is parked in front of. Mikey is meticulously wiping down his convertible. He gets jump scared by Tina in a mask. She takes out the mask. She tries to put it on Mikey, but he throws it down in the back seat while she says,
Yeah, maybe you don't need to wear a
Nope.
mask, baby.
You skipped a line.
What? Where am I?
Don't. The line right
Uh,
before that.
don't you like the mask just a little bit?
Mikey starts to angrily get into the car.
Yeah, maybe you don't need to wear a mask. Or you don't even need to wear a mask. Baby.
Thank you. She hops into his lap and they kiss. Tina sings along to the radio.
Baby, I'm yours.
Spitz comes out of the grocery store singing. That's also you.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned for you to have both of these singing roles back to back, but it just does fit that, like, with the way I split them, because, you know, we always split couples. One of us get each of them. And normally the opposite gender, so we can, like, make the scenes make sense when we need to.
I don't even know what voice I'm going to do for this guy.
A really dorky voice, because he's a really dorky character.
Baby, I'm ready tonight.
He stops when Sammy hits him before adding,
bruised, but ready.
Sammy pushes him. Spitz says,
Aye.
Then they kiss. Spitz is played by Horror Boy alum Matthew Walker of Child's Play 3. Tina pulls Sammy away and into the store. A cop car drives by. The boys wave until they pass and Mikey flips off the cop. Spitz asks,
Friends of yours.
I'll bring it up here because I have no idea when he's actually in a scene, but somebody is credited as Tall Cop, and he could have been one of the cops in the car. Tall Cop is played by Jay Bernard of Footloose and The Philadelphia Experiment, alongside Horror Boy alums, the late Michael Curie of Halloween 3, and Richard Jukes of Halloween 4. Mikey asks, so how many cases can we get?
3 cases. Any more and I think old Mr. Casey would, know something's up. Okay, but we have to get going. Shift changes pretty soon. You gonna pull around back, or should we just both get busted out front?
Spitz turns his attention to the car. He taps his hand on it and says,
Mike, nice wax job.
Mikey grabs Spitz by the chin and says, touch the car again, and you're dead. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Tina and Sammy come out of the store. Tina says,
You're gonna get high blood pressure, Mikey.
I don't know why there's an extra quote there. It's still your line.
Oh. Yeah. Pick me up at 8. Rachel's okay.
Sammy
8 o'clock even.
She probably does just say 8, honestly. But Sammy says, we gotta get ready for the Tower Farm party. Hey, Mikey, wanna have your legs waxed? Mikey angrily speeds away before heading into the back of the store. We cut back to the killer's shoulder POV for the shot. We then cut to Spitz, loading boxes into Mikey's trunk. Spitz says,
Alright, that's it. Now go, go, go. Don't drink it all before we get there, okay?
Spitz goes back inside. Idiot! Mikey checks his hair in his rearview mirror. Michael walks up and slams a garden cultivator down on the back of the car and scratches across the back. What the? And he gets out of the car holding a crowbar. Okay, butthole! You wanna play? Trick or treat! Michael googles him and starts choking him. Mikey drops the crowbar. Michael then takes the garden cultivator and stabs Mikey in the head with it, killing him.
Yeah.
Michael grabs the body and starts dragging it away. It's a shame. I enjoyed Mikey's voice. I don't care for the character, but I enjoyed playing him in our version of it. So I'm disappointed he's dead.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah. We cut to the clinic where they are preparing for their Halloween costume pageant. The announcer does a mic check. The announcer is played by Russ McGinn of Footloose, alongside Horror Boy alum Kevin Bacon of Friday the 13th. Also known as the first ever episode of Horror Boys. Kevin Bacon is in a lot of ways the original Horror Boy alum. Because also around that time, we weren't giving actors credit, really. except we mentioned Kevin Bacon because he was Kevin Bacon. They're like, oh, it's Kevin Bacon's in this.
Yeah.
The podcast has grown a lot.
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we cut to upstairs, where Nurse Patsy fluffs the bottom of Jamie's princess dress, saying, "Oh, oi!" Sorry. Oh, that's what it is. I almost said oi. It's not oi. It's oh. My, aren't you pretty? Billy walks up and hands Jamie a bouquet of flowers. These are for you. Jamie starts to smile. Oh, aren't they beautiful? Huh? I'll have to put them in water. Billy then gives Jamie his gold bracelet and says, It's good luck. Jamie gives Billy a kiss on the cheek. Aww.
Oh.
It's so sweet. Before I remembered the line of him saying it's for good luck, I started going, what? I started writing this down because I thought it was a really weird little detail to be there. The bracelet has his name engraved in it. I was like, that's a weird gift to give someone. But it was just keeps giving her his good luck charm, so it made a little more sense once I remembered that part of the line afterwards. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Jamie gives him a kiss. We cut to the landing where the costume contest is happening. The announcer says, which I believe is
me.
You.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, parents, for supporting us tonight. Now, what we've all been waiting for, our annual Halloween costume pageant. Our first couple is Jenny Holbrook and Kristen McGee. Let's give them a big hand.
We cut to the man in black walking up outside the Carruthers house. Mikey's car drives up and stops in front of the house, and the horde honks repeatedly. We cut to the inside, where Tina is finishing up her makeup. I also want to pause and go back to that. You know, some people might be like, oh, he showed up to the house, he drove... See, I'm not having a problem with that, because that's actually, if anything, that's a flaw with the first one, is that he knows how to drive. I'm completely fine with Michael knowing how to drive and show up places. That's fair. That's fine. Some people might want to call that a problem. I won't. I think that's actually completely fair. So much else about this movie's bad, but that one spot, it's whatever. I don't really care. We now cut to killer POV confirming Michael is driving the car, if you didn't know. Tina starts to walk to the car. Quick cut back to the costume pageant where we can see Jamie sense something is wrong. Back to Tina, who stops in front of the car and says,
Tina, queen of room service.
Why is she so sad about it? It was like such a sad delivery.
Wasn't sad.
It sounded sad. It didn't sound happy. Well, it's disappointing. I'm disappointed in you, Chris. She then laughed for some reason, because apparently that name for her outfit was really funny to her.
Tee.
Thank you. And she heads to the door, which is locked.
Michael, open the door. Michael, it's cold out here. Come on. Again.
Yeah.
Banned for come on.
Yeah.
Open the door, although it is appropriate here.
Yeah.
Mikey. Oh, Mikey.
She starts making kissy faces, and Michael unlocks the door.
Thank you for being such a gentleman.
We cut back to the pageant where the announcer says,
And now we have Billy Hill and Jamie Carruthers.
Jamie is starting to breathe heavily. We cut back to the car where we see Michael put on the costume Tina got Mikey.
You're wearing my present.
She starts to lean in and says,
I want you to know I just love barbaric men.
We cut back to the pageant where the announcer is mid-sentence saying,
Jamie as a princess, give him a big hand.
Billy notices Jamie isn't alright and says, Jamie! And back to the car where Tina says,
Michael, don't I even get a kiss?
Michael obviously doesn't answer.
Well, I can't resist your new look.
And she kisses Michael. She then says,
This is creepy.
Michael tightly grips the steering wheel. We cut back to Jamie, who's breathing very heavily. I know. I had to flip the page, okay? And she lets out an audible scream. Oh, you almost heard Chris there. Perfect. As she falls down onto the ground. Back to Michael and Tina. Michael peels out. Then back to Jamie in Billy's arms. Dr. Hill yells out.
Jamie!
Jamie? Back to the street in front of the Crothers house. And we see the man in black walking. Back to inside the car where Tina says.
Just great. The old silent treatment, huh, Mike? What'd I do wrong this time, huh? Is it because I want to see Jamie? Nothing, Mike. That's what I get. Nothing.
They're coming up on a gas station and Tina says.
Stop here. I want a pack of cigarettes.
Michael does not stop. Instead, he accelerates.
I said stop the gosh dang car. I want a pack of cigarettes.
Michael slams on the brakes.
Come on.
Michael then reverses back down the street to the gas station.
Great psycho boyfriend.
She gets out of the car. Back to the clinic. Dr. Hart says.
Jamie!
Tina! Is she in danger? Where is she?
No, we've got to get her out of here.
Where is she? Tina! Where is she? Jamie! We cut to a shot of Tina entering the convenience store at the gas station. She walks past a sign that says Giant Cookies and has a picture of a voluptuous lady with a cookie bra. Back to the clinic where Loomis says, Jamie, you've got to help us. Get Meeker on the line. A cop radios in. Pageant cop is you.
Oh. Dr. Mika, what's your 20? You're welcome. Cop at Pageant is played by late John Richard Platten.
Why did it say doctor, man? It definitely should have been doctor. I don't know what it was. There's no way it's Dr. Meeker's not a doctor.
Sheriff Meeker.
It's probably Sheriff Meeker. For some reason I wrote Dr. Meeker, yeah. Yeah. Jamie struggles to get out. So this is where you kind of have to talk, Chris.
Store.
Billy translates. Store. Store? What kind of store? What do they sell there?
All-nighter.
All-nighter.
Big woman.
And she does the international hand sign for big boobies.
Yeah.
Big woman. Big woman. A big woman who works in the store. She's fat. Is she a fat woman? Jamie, how much do you think she weighs?
No.
Oh. What? Jamie, what?
Cookie woman.
Cookie woman. Cookie woman. Cookie woman.
Bill's gas station, 5th and Main.
We cut to the car where Michael grabs his knife and swaps masks. Tina exits the gas station and is starting to walk towards the car when she's swarmed by cops. We hear a cop on a bullhorn say, Tina Williams, if you are Tina Williams, stay where you are. Check the inside. We cut to the clinic and hear Tom on the radio. She appears unharmed.
What the hell is going on? I'm fine.
Please, you've got to come with us to the clinic.
Is Jamie alright?
Just get in the car. She's about to get in the car, but then turns to go back to who she thinks is Mikey, but the car's gone.
I don't believe this.
Come on. We cut to Tina arriving at the clinic. Tina!
Where's Jamie? Is there something wrong? Tina.
Tina runs over and hugs Jamie.
Okay. Say it again. Tina. I love it.
And they hug again.
Aww.
And this scene would be so emotional if it was with her sister, who we cared about instead of this annoying new girl who wasn't even there in her life a year ago. This big emotional moment of she's talking for the first time and it's wasted on Tina.
Yeah.
I'm so mad. It's such a... Like, yes, there's certain little bits that you'd have to change in the story to have kept Rachel alive. Because there's some certain things Tina does that would have made no sense for Rachel to go do. But it would have made certain of these bigger beats mean so much more if it was Rachel instead of Tina.
Yeah.
But instead it's Tina. And Rachel's
It is
gone.
Tina.
Rachel's dead.
Yeah, so then,
We cut upstairs to Tina at the bedside of Jamie. Jamie says,
Tina, don't go. I have to. Well, why? Because you might not understand, but when you're older, there's I looked away. There are people you're gonna meet who make you feel like connected, like your heart is made of neon, and when you find them, you have to be with them.
Him. She's transitioned to talking about a boy at this point. She's talking about
have
Mike.
to be with him.
Yeah.
But he was with you. Who? The boogeyman. Oh, yeah. That's one way of describing him.
She gives Jamie a kiss and gets up to go.
Tina, no. Honey, I will come back later tonight, and I will sleep with you right here. Tina. Ah. I'll be back. I love you.
And she leaves.
And Jamie cries out. Tina!
Once Tina is downstairs. Actually, we'll pause it real quick. I just want to say, once again, yes, I don't like the character Tina. I don't like her. We've said that already. I don't need to harp on that part of it. But I will say, for half a second, I actually feel kind of sorry for Tina. Man, is she just, like, in a borderline abusive relationship and doesn't care? Like, yes, we know that was Michael this last time. But the way she was talking to him, she's like, what did I do this time, Michael? Like, he already does give her the silent treatment. He treats her like trash, yet she still abandons this little girl who she cares about because, well, he just makes her heart feel good. Why? Get someone better. He doesn't... He cares about his car and not you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, who
so
cares?
Tina runs downstairs.
Yeah, who cares? It's Tina. Loomis walks up and says, "Why don't you stay the night?"
No, I'm sorry. I gotta run.
Tina, please.
Stay away, okay? You know, you're really creepy filling that little girl with all that boogeyman crap.
I believe that you're in danger. Jamie believes it too.
Jamie's a 9-year-old girl.
Be sensible. Tina laughs.
I'm never sensible if I can help it.
And she leaves in a hurry. Tina! For God's sake, stop her! On whose orders?
She hasn't done anything wrong.
Follow her then. Least you can do. If that girl dies tonight.
All right. For you, Doc, anything.
Nick and Tom turn to leave, and we hear very faintly their clown theme. It's still there, but they do make it slightly fainter, which is slightly less annoying.
I guess an improvement.
Yeah. Outside, they run into Tina, who has stopped to cry.
You guys supposed to be tailing me or something? Well, then you can give me a ride to the Tower Farm.
We see that Billy is watching them behind the door. They leave, and we see Mikey's car following the cop car. Jamie sees that and says,
Tina, gotta help Tina.
I will pause real quick here just to bring up a little fun little note. Apparently, you know, as you might have heard with his name, the director was French and kind of an eccentric Frenchman. And one of the things, one of his notes for the, you know, doofus cops was like whenever they walked, he wanted them to walk like penguins, so they like they bounce back and forth a little bit because it makes them sillier. And like apparently, like
Eccentric
in the middle of
word.
shots, he would like he'd be like, penguin, remember? He'd be like yelling at them to remember penguin.
God.
I guess I'll
Just another reason why the French are the worst.
Oh.
They only suck most of the time.
Even if I don't like his movie, I'm not gonna speak badly about the human being for making a bad movie. I will mention here too, just because
I'll talk on the French.
I have no idea where else to mention it because it really wasn't about any one thing. But I will mention here. I'll pause because we're kind of in the middle of a scene here. We can stop and take a break to mention that apparently it was a really great time on set. They rented out like a whole hotel and they were all just like kind of like partying every night. Like, even like with Jamie, like even though she wasn't like they were all drinking, Jamie wasn't because not Jamie, but Danielle Harris wasn't because she was 11, but she was like helping them get the booze because like her arms were the only ones small enough to like get into this like cabinet. She was helping like steal like little bottles of booze for everyone.
Oh my gosh.
And apparently like everyone was having a bunch of fun, like staying up till 3 even when they had to work the next day on the movie. Like it seemed like it was just a big fun time shooting this. Everyone seemed to be having a great time together.
Well, that's good at least.
All right. I think it's a random shot of Homeboy. Man in black. Man in black. Man in black. Where is it? I lost the line. I lost it. Up here. It's way up here. I was way down there. It's not down there.
It's a quick shot of the man in black walking in front of the clinic.
And that's it. Nurse Patsy runs down the stairs and tells Loomis, "Jamie's not in her room. She's nowhere in sight." A little girl runs past Loomis, and he grabs her to check under her mask. I guess to see if it's Jamie. The little girl is played by Angela Montoya of Silent Night, Deadly Night. In comes Sheriff Meeker, who says,
"Loomis, what the hell are you doing?" No, not even close. Huh? "Loomis, what the hell are you doing?"
"Jamie's gone." We cut to Jamie walking outside. Billy runs up, bumping into her, causing both of them to scream. Jamie says,
"I gotta find Tina."
You don't even know where she is. But I do.
"Where?"
"The Tower Farm." We cut to the Tower Farm party. Tina is dancing, and a man credited as Mole Man says, I believe I'm Mole Man, right? Yes, I am. "Love your costume."
"Oh, baby."
Well, that's it. Well, okay, that's one line. Mole Man is played by Patrick White. We see Tina is now dancing with both Mole Man and Native American Chief. He's not credited. I don't know who plays the Native American Chief. Sammy comes up and says, "Tina."
"What?"
"Where's Mike?"
Oh,
geez.
ask me if I care.
I thought you did. I thought he makes your heart feel like neon, Tina. You abandoned a little girl who had nothing because his heart makes you feel so special, but now you're just dancing with 2 random dudes, and you don't even care.
Yeah. So now we cut to deputies Tom and Nick outside in their car.
Yeah. Tom is poking at his face, possibly trying to pop a pimple.
"What are you doing?" "What are you doing?"
"Oh, nothing yet." They watch as Michael drives up in Mikey's car.
What do you think?"
"Well, orders are orders. Does that look like a life-threatening situation to you?"
Nah. "Play Crazy Eights?"
We cut to some killer POV as he looks into the party. Sammy tells Tina, "Spitz and I just had the grandest idea."
"Yeah? What?"
Sammy then whispers something in Tina's ear. They all laugh and start to walk away. We cut back to Deputy Tom and Nick, who are playing Crazy Eights. Nick wins a hand and Tom says, "Oh, no, wait, hey, you cheated there."
"I did not cheat."
"Come on." Sammy and Tina come running out of the party screaming. They are being followed by Michael. Tina drops down in front of Michael and says,
"Take me, but spare my friend. She's a virgin."
Michael says, "Got her phone number?" Wait, that's not Michael. It's Spitz.
"You think that's funny?"
Spitz pulls off the mask and says,
Hey, no, man. No, hey, just a little Halloween prank, okay?
"Definitely not funny. Somebody could have easily be dead right now."
Fortunately, we're lousy cops.
We get some clown noises. Sam yells over to Tina and Spitz, "Hey guys, look what I found!" And she holds up a little kitten. Both Spitz and Tina scream like idiots and run off to join Sammy and head into the barn. Inside, Spitz says,
Hello?
Nope.
Huh? And Spitz says, boo!
and both girls scream. And they look around and Tina says,
Oh, kittens.
and they find some more kittens in the hay.
Hello, little kitties. Hello.
Oh, they're so cute.
Oh, get him. Tina. Get him, Tina. Get him.
Tina and Sammy start to follow the kittens. Spitz grabs Sammy and says,
You wait right here. Give me the kitten.
pages are stuck. Okay, 1 second. Okay. We see a shot of Michael in the shadows. We then cut to Tina following the kittens. She sees the barn doors open and closes it. The kitten she was following runs into the shadows and it meows.
Kitten, I hear you, but I don't see you.
The shot lingers on the shadow, and it looks like you might be able to see Michael moving. And the kitten pops out of the shadows and lunges at Tina's hand. I actually will say it's actually a pretty well done jump scare of like, especially because there's like a moment where it almost looks like you see Michael. You're like, oh okay, Michael's about to jump out and kill her. And then this is like one of the few times I actually kind of like the fake out cat jump scare because they really set it up in a way where it shouldn't be. So when it was, it feels slightly more earned. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it more than when you just like open a cabinet and a cat pops out. You know.
Yeah.
She picks up the kitten and leaves. She hears something fall over behind her, and we, the audience, see Michael moving in the shadows. Tina laughs, and then says,
What am I doing? I hate cats.
she walks back into the main area, where all the hay is, and says,
Sam? Sammy? Spitz?
she lets the kitten down and hears a noise and looks over to it. She takes a couple steps forward before a bunch of hay falls in front of her face. Spitz comes down from the pile of hay bales, laughing.
I hate you. Oh, sorry. Did you see your face?
Him and Sammy start kissing. Tina says,
You guys. Fine. I'll just let myself out. Bye.
And Spitz says,
Yeah, I'll be right back.
and he follows after Tina. At the door, Tina says,
Have fun.
and she leaves. Sammy is holding one of the kittens and hears a lot of barn like creaking noises.
oh, scary.
Spitz? But she gets no answer. We pan over to see that Spitz isn't by the door. What makes you think I'm gonna try and find you, huh? She hears a noise of someone walking on a piece of wood. So she turns around the corner and says, I got you! But there's no one around the corner. She opens the door and sees a jumpsuit leave on the other side, out the door on the other side of the room. Sammy says, I saw you! And she runs after the figure. She's now back in the main area. Sammy yells, Spitz, I'm out of here. Good night. She starts heading to the exit, but her foot is grabbed by Michael. Spitz? Michael continues to approach her. Spitz! Oh my god! Michael brings his knife down with a big slash. Wait, no, it's a plastic knife and it's actually just Spitz playing a prank. Sammy gets up and starts hitting Spitz while saying, You son of a bad woman! You scared me half to death. It wasn't funny! Spitz grabs her in a hug and they start kissing. Spitz then laughs like a dork. We cut to Jamie and Billy running and hiding behind a tree when they see a cop car on the road. And back to Spitz and Sammy, who are passionately kissing and start playing harmonica. Michael comes in and stabs a pitchfork through Spitz, killing him. Sammy screams and gets up, covered in Spitz's blood. Michael is now holding a scythe. Sammy pulls the pitchfork out of Spitz to arm herself. Sammy says, "You son of a bad woman!" Sammy rushes towards Michael, who just kind of like grabs the pitchfork and sidesteps her, and then he takes the scythe to her neck to kill her. When Sammy's actress Tamara hit the wall, a nail actually went into her arm, and she had to get a tetanus shot. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Also, I guess I'll mention here, apparently, part of the reason there's so many farming tools used in this movie was that apparently Don Shanks grew up on a farm and like suggested a lot of ideas to the director.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Got to the deputy's car.
Yeah.
Where Nick says, "That sounded different."
Yeah. We never did stuff like that when we were kids.
No, we were normal.
Yeah. And he rolls down the window. They turn around and see Michael leaving the barn with a pitchfork. "Hey, fella, over here. Hey, come on. Enough's enough, all right?"
Hey, somebody can get hurt with that thing.
"Hey, somebody's gonna get hurt with that thing." Michael continues to walk towards them.
Unbelievable. No respect for authority anymore.
"It's the parents."
Yeah.
"Hey, all right, punk. I'm through fooling around." Michael walks right up to the window. We cut back inside the party. Mole Man asks, "So, are you coming to the spring?"
Oh, baby, you just want to see me naked.
"I wouldn't mind. Come on, the hell with Mike. He ain't gonna show."
I can't leave Sam and Spitz.
We cut to a bunch of people exiting the party into the parking lot, including Tina and Mole Man. We cut to Jamie and Billy running. Jamie says,
Hurry, come on.
They climb a fence into a field. Tina heads into the actual barn and says,
Sam? You guys, I don't hear any noise. Are you sure you're doing it right? You guys want to come skinny dipping?
We cut back to Jamie and Billy running through the field. Back to Tina, who says,
Maybe you guys are already naked.
She finds one of the kittens, who's covered in blood. She then looks down and sees the bloody scythe. She backs up into the hay bales, and Sammy and Spitz's bodies roll down onto her. She gets up and runs out screaming.
Help me! Help me, please! Somebody help me, please! Help me! Help!
She runs up to the cop car and says,
Oh, God! Help me!
But she finds the deputies' dead bodies. She runs into the now empty parking lot and sees Michael in Mikey's car. Tina, in a relieved tone, says,
Mike.
Jamie and Billy are now within eyesight. Jamie yells,
Tina!
Tina turns, and when Michael turns on the headlights, Tina screams. Michael starts driving towards her. Thank you. Michael starts driving towards her, so Tina starts to run away. Jamie yells,
Tina!
Jamie yells.
Oh. Is that what
It's just Tina, but you just said it like, Tina. Like, she's yelling. Like, give it a little bit more passion.
Tina!
Thank you. No, that was a acting criticism, not a you got the wrong line.
Okay.
Tina hops over the fence into the field to get away from Michael, but he just drives right through the fence. Also, apparently in the third take of this, because she has that, like, big flowy thing on her back, like the cape even, that's the word for it, she actually tripped over it, and he, like, almost ran her over, but, you know, he was a professional stunt driver, so he was able to stop just in time.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. It's actually really funny on the documentary. She's talking about, like, they're talking about that happening, and she's like, yeah, but he was a professional stunt driver. And then they cut to him, he's like, yeah, it was really close. She's all like, oh, yeah, I was fine with him. And he was like, you know, she almost died. It was great just to see, like, the juxtaposition of the two.
Jeez Louise.
I don't know, maybe she wouldn't almost die, but he almost did actually hit her.
Leave her alone! What do you want?
Wait.
Then Michael stops the car.
Leave her.
No!
Here.
Michael starts driving towards the kids. Jamie breaks off to the right, while Billy runs straight forward with Michael tailing him.
Billy!
Billy stops and yells, "No!" and then jumps out of the way at the last second. Jamie turns around to head towards Billy, yelling.
Billy, no!
Michael turns the car towards her. Jamie repeatedly yells.
Please!
Repeatedly, say it at least twice.
Please!
Thank you. As we get a hard scene? Chase scene, I think is what it's supposed to say. I don't know why it says hard.
Yeah, a chase scene.
Yeah, we get a chase scene where Michael pursuing Jamie in the car through the field. Then what I believe is a Christmas tree farm. That's what it just looks like to me, because I don't know what those little tree bush things could be. It's October, so those could be young Christmas trees, and that would kind of,
Could be.
the timeline fits, and they weren't fully grown yet, so it kind of makes sense. It's something. They're driving over some sort of bushes that somehow his car is completely able to just plow through.
Yeah.
Which also, apparently, I think they literally did drive over them, so obviously it could. It just surprised me how easily it drove through them.
Same. I thought a car would start breaking down as soon as it started running over a whole bunch of small trees.
But no.
Stay here, Billy. I'll be back. Leave her alone.
And she runs towards Jamie and Michael, who's now taken the chase into the forest. Jamie is yelling things like,
Help me.
as Michael pursues her. Michael ends up crashing into a tree with the car exploding. I'll pause real quick because I didn't mention it, but I wanted to. In one of the cuts, when one of the versions of the script, I had it there as a note, but apparently I cut it out. I actually really like this version of the classic girl gets chased by the killer in the trees. Adding the car in there really made a fun little twist on it, but still doing kind of a cliche thing in a different way. So I respected that. But yeah, he crashes into a tree and the car explodes. Tina rushes toward Jamie, and I guess also Michael, technically. But she runs towards Jamie, who was thrown forward by the explosion. We see relief come over Jamie's face, as the horn just endlessly blaring as Michael's body is pressing the horn. Jamie calls out.
Tina.
Tina replies.
Baby.
Jamie says.
Tina.
Then the horn stops. We see the realization settle in on Jamie's face. Michael gets out of the car and starts walking towards Jamie. Pause.
No.
Oh.
Fun, a little fact here again. Apparently the shot, him crashing the car was such a, done so well. It was such a cool, everyone was so excited that the director forgot to yell cut. So Don Shanks had to, be in the fire for slightly longer than he was supposed to be. He was fine, obviously, because, he got to make the classic I'll Always Know You Did Last Summer 20 years after this, so he's obviously fine. But yeah, apparently everyone was just so caught up in the emotion of the scene they accidentally let Don Shanks stay in a burning car longer than he was supposed to.
Oops.
Now you can go back to your line.
No. Oh God, no.
As she crawls away, Michael follows her and raises his knife. Tina runs in yelling,
Jamie.
She's caught immediately by Michael. Tina says.
Run.
Michael stabs Tina in the chest.
No.
Tina's final words are,
Run.
Billy pulls Jamie away as she cries out for Tina, in a scene that would have been super emotional if Jamie just, barely reunited with her sister and then sees Rachel sacrifice herself for Jamie. But Rachel was killed early, so we're supposed to care for Tina's death. That's the last time I'll bring it up until, post thoughts.
Sure.
But just Billy is basically dragging Jamie through the forest as she repeatedly cries,
Tina.
The kids back up into Loomis, who leads them back into the field. We hear Sheriff Meeker say,
All right, spread out and keep in contact.
Loomis yells, Don't shoot! Which cop? The cop can feel this in me, okay. There's two of them right there! I assume this is Cop and Field, played by Steven Anderson of When a Stranger Calls.
Meeker says, Loomis.
Yeah, I got them here.
Johnny, come on. Get them out here.
A field cop, possibly a different cop, but I'm going to stick with it not being, says, "Spread out! Find the other girl!"
Come on, Loomis.
A bunch of other chatter about finding Tina with, like, multiple, it says, like, there's multiple different cops credited at the bottom, but there's also only one cop in field, so I don't know who any of these people are supposed to be. None of the dialogue was important.
You're gonna be alright, Jamie.
Oh, sorry.
You're gonna be alright.
Tina, please.
We then cut to a bit later as Tina's body is carried past Jamie.
Tina. Tina! Tina!
Once again, how emotional would that have been right there if it was Rachel? We then cut to then Loomis walks up and asks,
Now, are you willing to help me?
Can you kill him?
I think so.
Meeker walks up.
Now, wait a minute, Loomis.
There isn't a minute to wait.
What do you want me to do?
Loomis smirks and walks away. We see the ambulance with Jamie and all the cop cars drive away, leaving Loomis in the field. The audience sees Michael, but I'm not sure if Loomis sees him because he seems to be looking around. Also, I wrote that before I watched the documentary, and apparently initially it was written as you don't see him at all. But Donald Pleasance, like, asked Don Shanks if he could be out there, even if his character's not supposed to see him, just so he as an actor could know he was there, to know how he was supposed to be playing off of it. I don't know. So he wasn't even supposed to be in the scene for that shot that day, but Donald Pleasance requested him to be there.
Interesting.
Yeah. Loomis starts talking out into the forest.
Michael, it will destroy you too. One day. Michael, this rage which drives you, you think if you kill them all, it will go away. It won't. You have to fight it in the place where it's strongest, where it all began. If you want to get rid of the rage, Michael, go home. Go home. Go to your house. I shall be there waiting for you. You'll find her waiting for you.
We cut to the Myers house. We see through the window that Jamie is in the upstairs room. She's brushing her hair in front of a mirror, presumably where her Aunt Judith was killed by Michael. Also, they're, like, recreating her, like, brushing her hair, which also, like, I don't know why. Like, I don't think Michael needed to see her brushing his hair to, like, I don't see how that was part. Like, he said, "Hey, come here." I don't know why we were trying to recreate her being Judith, but whatever.
Yeah.
Especially as Dan Drambles pointed out in his YouTube video, is the scene now with this, like, little girl recreating a scene of a woman who was post harmonica, half naked, brushing her hair, and they're, like, trying to, like, kind of recreate it with her, which, like, yes, they're not, like, making her, like, do anything lewd, but it's still just, it's weird. It's a weird, like, need to try to, like, mirror that.
Yeah, it is bizarre.
Yeah. There's a cop named Deputy Charlie with her in the room. Deputy Charlie is played by Troy Evans of Ace Ventura, Near Dark, and The Frighteners, alongside Horror Bois alums Arlie Ermey and Jeffrey Combs of the Reanimator series and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Loomis is waiting on the stairs outside the room. We cut to outside where Meeker asks the sniper. He yawns first and then says,
Can I see some of the street?
"Not a chance." The sniper, or as he's credited, Fat Sniper, is played by the late John Gilbert of David Cronenberg's Rabid. I just want to say that, like, yes, the man isn't, the smallest of men, but I would never have been like, yes, that's Fat Sniper, not just Sniper. Why couldn't he's the only sniper with dialogue. Like, it's not like there's skinny sniper and fat sniper and they just didn't care enough to name them. No. There's one sniper named Fat Sniper.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Station 1. Are you sure you can't see you?
We don't hear a response, but hear Meeker on the radio again say,
Inside units. I want to report every 5 minutes.
The inside units reply accordingly. Loomis says,
I might not be able to see you, Sheriff, but we can all certainly hear you.
All right, relax, Loomis. This is my operation. All right, fellas, let's keep it down on the radio chatter.
The inside units might be Troopers 1 and 2, or Troopers 1 and 2 were just credited for the added explosion at the opening of the recap. I don't know, but here's who played them. Trooper 1 is played by Frank Koenig, and Trooper 2 is played by the returning Don Ray Sampson. Which, the returning part made me think that it was going to be like, oh, he's another state trooper, but the fact that Frank Koenig isn't returning makes me think that it couldn't have been that opening shot. So this is kind of the only place it could be them. I don't know, though.
Anyways, back up to Jamie and Charlie.
Charlie says, I think you're Charlie. Yes, you are.
Looks like you and me are the only ones around here keeping our cool.
Jamie shushes Charlie.
Good idea. You want to practice our signals? All right.
Jamie knocks the brush on the vanity, and Charlie comes out from his hiding place.
You had to do the good and loud, and I'll be out of here in a flash. You're one brave little girl.
Jamie starts breathing heavily and trembling while saying,
Billy? Billy? Billy?
Charlie says.
Dr. Loomis.
Loomis comes in and sees Jamie repeating Billy, and he radios,
Mika, he's at the clinic.
We cut to outside as an officer named Eddie is heard saying, what voice do I want to do for Eddie? This is car 16, the Masterson Clinic. Car 16 calling the Masterson Clinic. When Mika runs up on it to Eddie's window, Eddie says, we just had a distress call from the clinic. They haven't been able to reach him again. There were 4 men up there.
Meeker radios. All right, this is Sheriff Meeker. All mobile units proceed immediately to the Masterson Clinic.
All the cops at the Myers house start leaving as Meeker says,
Move out. Move out.
Eddie is played by stuntman/actor/animal wrangler Fenton Quinn of SLC Punk, alongside Horror Boy alums Devin Sawa of Idle Hands, Final Destination, and the Chucky series, and national treasure Matthew Lillard of Scream. Oh yeah, he's also a Horror Boy alum for his work on Hereditary.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he did like animal wrangling on that. So like we would have never mentioned him because, you know, I'm sorry, but I don't like mention every cast and crew member, so animal wranglers don't typically get mentioned. But
yeah, Meeker tells Eddie, all right, you stay here. Meeker back on the radio says, Loomis, I'm moving the girl to the police station. She'll be safer there.
Understood.
a SWAT team member comes up to Meeker and says, "Why are you SWAT team member?" That doesn't make any sense. He's talking to me.
All clear.
Okay, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
The girl. Oh no.
Yeah, it's just all clear.
The girl, Charlie, and Lewis are in there,
yeah.
sir. All right, I got it.
And he hops in a cop car and leaves with the rest of cops, who aren't Charlie and Eddie. As they drive off, we see Loomis throw his radio into a bush and head back inside. As he enters the door, Loomis says,
"Now you'll come, won't you, Michael?"
We cut to Jamie and Charlie.
I'm sure you've done your night's work. Come on, my pal, and Eddie and I will give you the ride to the station.
Let's go.
They get up to head to the door, and Loomis comes in.
Dr. Loomis?
Loomis closes the door and locks it.
What the hell are you doing?
You're taking her anywhere.
You've got 5 seconds to give me that key before I take it.
Eddie on the radio says, Charlie? No, wait, I don't remember what his voice was. I already forgot. Charlie, can you read me?
This is Charlie. What's going on?
There's a car approaching. I'll check it out. We get some shots of Loomis and Jamie reacting to the news of the car. Looks like one of ours. It's code 2. Hey! He stops when the car crashes into his car.
Eddie, do you read me?
Eddie doesn't reply because Michael is punching through his window. Michael smashes Eddie's head to death. After too long, Charlie realizes Eddie is in trouble.
I gotta call Meeker.
Loomis takes the radio and smashes it on the wall.
You crazy son of a bad woman.
Charlie walks towards Loomis but stops in his track when Loomis pulls out his gun.
Charlie, Michael Myers is outside. Stay with the little girl, please.
Charlie backs away and Loomis leaves the room. Charlie tells Jamie.
Don't worry about this.
We cut to some killer POV as Michael walks up to the house. Charlie jams a board under the doorknob and to help barricade them in.
We have to get out of here.
We cut to Loomis going down to the ground floor. Michael can be seen in the shadows of a doorframe behind Loomis.
You've come back to us, Michael.
Loomis turns around and sees Michael with a knife raised up and says,
I know why you've come back, Michael. Because the little girl. The little girl can stop the rage inside. She knows how to do it, Michael.
He walks up to Michael and continues.
If you let her, she can stop the rage. The rage inside.
Michael looks up the stairs.
Oh, she's not up there, Michael. She's down here in the middle of the house. Your house, Michael. Your house. Don't you remember how much better you used to be? Let me take you to her. She'll take away your rage, Michael.
Michael starts to lower his knife.
Let her live. You don't need...
Loomis reaches towards the knife and says,
You don't need that.
Michael recoils his hand and then slashes Loomis across the gut. Michael smashes Loomis' head through the window behind him and then tosses him through the banister of the landing they were standing on. We cut to Charlie breaking the window of the room he and Jamie are in. Jamie yells.
Hurry, please.
Charlie sets up a rope to the window.
For them to climb down.
Yeah. Sets up a rope through, I guess. I don't know, 2 seems weird. But whatever. He sets up a rope. Charlie tells Jamie.
Gonna need you to get on my back here. Now you just hold on to me.
Jamie gets on Charlie's back. When Michael starts stabbing through the door, Charlie puts Jamie down and starts shooting towards Michael.
10 times!
Michael falls back. Charlie says,
Alright, come on.
but before Jamie and him can start trying to leave, Michael bursts through the remnants of the door. He comes over and attacks Charlie and hangs him out of the window with the rope. While Michael does this, Jamie runs away. We cut to the clinic. We get a quick scene of Meeker dealing with the situation. We cut back to the Myers house. Jamie locks herself in a room, but the other doors are locked. Michael is banging on the door, so she hides in the laundry chute, holding onto the handle to keep herself at the top.
Please don't let him get me. Please, God.
Michael enters the room and almost immediately goes to the laundry chute. He grabs for her hands, and she falls down to the bottom, which is latched closed, as we mentioned earlier, because Loomis reclosed it. Which, once again, I'll point out the good thing this movie does. I actually think that's actually some really good, foreshadowing. Like, showing him purposely lock it to then have that come back into play later. Like, that's good storytelling. I'll give him that. Most of the story is not, but that is good storytelling. Actually, even as I say that, like, I actually like the last, 30 minutes of this movie. Pretty much everything in the Myers house on is at least entertaining.
Fair.
Please don't. Latch closed. Michael heads down to the basement. He walks over to the chute and tries to open it, to no avail. Jamie tries to climb up, but can't. Michael starts trying to break the latch by prying it off with his knife. Jamie continues to try and climb up the chute. Michael rips the door, and he then reaches in, trying to grab Jamie and slash at her feet, but she's gotten far enough up that he can't. Then Michael pivots and starts stabbing through the metal of the chute, narrowly missing Jamie. One of the stabs, Jamie is able to use the knife to push herself up further and is able to get to the top of the laundry chute and climbs out. And now I'll stop to talk about how dangerous this chute was. Like, the way they shot it. Not shoot. I mean, both, really. But, so apparently, that was a real knife that they are actually stabbing through, air conditioning duct that she's in. 'Cause it's not actually a laundry chute. Apparently it's an air conditioning duct. That she actually was, the perfect size to be able to, wedge herself in it. And if she doesn't move, she's fine. But if she didn't get past, a certain line, he could have accidentally actually stabbed her. Nothing happens, so obviously it is safe enough. It obviously works. It's fine, but it is just a little weird, moment of, wait, what?
That is wild.
Yeah. We then get a quick shot of the police cars driving on the road, presumably to the Myers house. Spoiler, it is, as we see later, but this shot is one of those classic shot just to be a change of scenes for half a second, even though we come back to Jamie in the same room.
Yeah.
Oh!
Just trying to get more doors.
I remember why I wrote stories and not just said that one story. So another part is after Jamie gets out of the chute, you will see for the rest of the movie, she has a bloody leg prosthetic on. And you may be wondering, well, why? Well, they had initially shot a scene where she gets stabbed in the leg in the laundry chute, but then they cut that, but never reshot anything after it. So she just has a bloody leg.
Nice.
Yeah. She heads up to the attic where Michael has lit a ton of candles. We also see the casket Loomis said Michael stole from the cemetery. Jamie then finds the bodies of Max, she screams.
Max.
Then she finds Mikey's body and doesn't really react that much. And she turns around to find Rachel's body and screams,
Rachel! No! Rachel!
It's crazy. She said, her literal sister's name twice and wouldn't stop whining about Tina for 2 hours. She then hears Michael's footsteps and says,
Help me.
As Michael enters the room, Jamie lies down in the coffin for some reason. It was obviously way too late to hide as he was already up the stairs in a relatively well-lit room. But she decides to lie down in the coffin. Michael comes over and raises the knife above her. Jamie says,
Uncle?
Michael stops in his tracks.
Boogeyman?
He lowers the knife. Jamie points at her face and says,
Let me see.
Michael takes off the masks. He is backlit, so you can't make out his face.
You're just like me.
We get a close-up near Michael's eye, and we see one tear rolling down his cheek.
Let me.
And she reaches out to wipe away the tear. Michael recoils, knocking the coffin off the tub it was on. Michael puts the mask back on, and he lunges forward towards the coffin and starts stabbing at it, but Jamie has moved out of the way. I guess I'll pause here to say that apparently when she was filming this, Daniel Harris was really scared that she was going to catch fire and die because apparently she was like covered in a ton of like flammable hairspray.
Oh.
And she was like, and there's all these candles around her, and she's like, what if one of them gets knocked down? But she did say that being with Don did make her feel safer, which once again, so apparently he is I know we've told us a couple stories that make it sound like Don Shanks isn't that safe, but it sounds like he actually is a really safe person that people did like to be around.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's running down the stairs while Michael is basically just throwing a tantrum, throwing things around the attic. At the landing, but not the landing at a landing, not the landing I thought it was initially when I started writing it, but it is just a landing. She's grabbed by Loomis.
Oh, God.
Michael is standing at the top of the stairs. Loomis, holding Jamie, says,
You want her? Here she is.
Jamie
No.
tries to get down, saying no. Michael approaches Jamie. Jamie says,
No.
Oh, wait. Did you say here's your little girl
you're right,
already?
I jumped
You
the
skipped
line.
the whole line.
You're
Come on
right.
now.
No, my bad. Sorry. Jamie tries to get down, saying no, but Loomis holds on to her and says, I started writing this because it didn't make sense, but I did actually, once I listened to it 4 times, realize this is what it says.
Here's your little girl.
As Michael approaches, Jamie says,
No. No. No, no, no. No.
Loomis says,
Come and get him.
Please, no. No.
Loomis takes Jamie further down the stairs and into the living room.
Michael, let's play a game.
No.
Come catch the little girl. Come catch, Michael. Get the little girl. Then you're home and safe.
Loomis is backed up to the wall, where he drops a chain net on Michael. He then shoots Michael 4 times with a tranquilizer gun. Michael pulls the gun away before Loomis can shoot him 6 times. Loomis rips a board off the window. Loomis runs over and beats Michael down with the board, saying,
Die! 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 Michael! Die! Die! Die!
He stops mid-word as Michael falls down to the ground. He hits him one more time before he passes out on top of a prone Michael. We see the lights of the cop car arriving behind Jamie. So also, once again, apparently, so this is obviously they didn't use a real wooden board. I know, crazy. Apparently it was a foam board on top of a PVC pipe, so it would have some weight behind it. And if you hit one, because it was a fake 2x4, if you hit on the 4 side, completely safe and padded. But if you hit on the 2, could be a little dangerous. And apparently one of the last times he got hit, Pleasance accidentally broke Don Shank's nose. And the director's like, do you want to stop? And Don Shank's like, nah, it's fine. I'm fine. And just kept continuing. Yeah. Yeah, so we cut to Michael chained up in a jail cell. Sheriff Meeker says,
National Guard will take him to a maximum security facility where he'll stay until the day he dies. He'll never die. All right, take her back to the clinic.
The cop, who I presume is jail cop, says, come on. Jail cop is played by Tom Jacobson. We see the man in black walking up to the prison. We cut to Jamie and the jail cop getting in his car. When we hear an explosion, we then cut to inside the station where, in slow motion, the man in black guns down the police force. Back outside, jail cop says, "Wait to the car!" And he heads inside. Jamie doesn't listen and goes inside too. She walks past all the carnage, and when she sees the blown up cell door, Jamie says,
No! No!
and we cut to our credits.
Yeah.
So what are my thoughts on this movie? I'll start by saying I don't like it. If you can't tell, I'm not a fan of this movie. When I initially had watched the first 8 movies of the series, I still have not seen every movie in the series, but I have watched the first 8. And at the time when I watched it the first time, this was my least favorite of the movies. And it still might be, because, you know, we still have 3 more. I don't know for sure if any of them are going to be lower than it on a second watch. But I will say that I did not hate this movie as much as I remembered hating it. Do I think it's good? No. Are there moments that I kind of felt like I kind of liked and kind of thought were kind of fun moments here and there that I didn't remember any of, you know, after watching it the first time? You know, the first time after watching it, I came out being like, that movie was terrible. I hate it. It ruined my favorite movie it gets a sequel to my favorite movie in the franchise. Besides Halloween, because Halloween's a perfect film. But one of my favorite ones, like the one that was most fun for me to watch, was Halloween 4. And I felt like it ruined the story, which it does. It does. I'm not denying any of that. It does ruin the story. It is a terrible sequel to Halloween 4. But I don't actually think it's a terrible movie. I think it's not a very good movie. It has some fun moments. But yeah, I don't like it. I think there's small things, honestly, pretty small things that could have made this movie, you know, not a terrible sequel. Like, basically swap Tina and Rachel's spots. Have Tina die pretty early on, and then have Rachel, you know, live until the really dramatic moments where she gets to, you know, have moments with her sister, because that would have meant a lot more. But we didn't get that. We got this, and yeah, I don't like it. But there are moments that I like. Like, I really like Danielle Harris's acting in this. I think she really does a great job, like, showing emotion. And for half of the movie, she's showing emotion without even being able to talk, which is, like, extra impressive. Which would be extra impressive for, like, any adult to do. And she was 11 at the time. And there's a lot of, like, you know, 40-year-old actors who've been doing it for, like, 20 years who might not have been able to do that good of a job acting without words entirely. And she did a really good job with that. I also think I love Loomis. I really like super duper unhinged Loomis that we get in this movie, where he's a psychopath at this point, and I'm cool with that. I'm down. It's fun. I love Loomis getting in kids' faces and yelling at them. Yeah. That's it, I guess. I don't like it, but I don't hate it as much as I thought I was going to on a rewatch.
Fair. Yeah, definitely not a good movie, but there are some redeeming aspects, mainly the acting, yeah, from Donald Pleasence and Danielle Harris, who I think, yeah, did a pretty bang-up job on this one.
I'm going to have to clip that before you say this one, so, you know, we can post that on social media, so, you know, she doesn't get mad at us for how much you're mean to her.
But yeah, there's a lot of questionable choices. The Man in Black Ex Machina, not a fan of.
I forgot to even complain about that in my closing statements. Yeah, you're right.
the goofy soundtrack, aside from, of course, the classic John Carpenter Halloween theme. Yeah, the choice to kill off Rachel in the very beginning. Just a lot of things that I'm like, why did you do that? You made at least one film that was, like, very, it's a word, and I've lost it. You made a film that made sense and had a lot of very valid choices, and then you made this. I guess you also, well, no. I'm getting myself confused. I haven't had caffeine today. Point being, why? Why did you do it? Why? You didn't have to.
Yeah.
But you did.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand. And I have a feeling that I'm going to understand even less with Halloween 6. So tune into that next week.
Yeah, one last thing, just to add like a little bit of devil's advocate for the new staff on this one, because you're saying, oh, they made a... To be fair, the only people returning are, like, actors and producers, so it's not really fair to say, like, oh, they did a good movie, which, like, it is. Like, they did do a good movie, this one isn't. So,
Yeah,
like, there
no, that's why I
that.
started backpedaling
Yeah.
through.
But
Because
I'd
I was like,
also
wait,
say
no,
that-
I'm confused because I was thinking about specifically the composer who worked on the other
Oh,
movies.
yeah, that's fair. And the other thing I will say that, once again, to actually play devil's advocate for the writers and director and everything is, this movie was super rushed into production because the last movie was so successful. They wanted to capitalize on it, and you can tell. It's not a good movie, and that's a big part of that is probably because it's rushed. If you gave these same people, like, you know, a year to write a good script, it might have been better than the script we got that they had to put out like a year after the first one. But yeah, we will be watching. Not actually. Chris keeps saying the Halloween 6. There is no movie called Halloween 6. It is Halloween: Curse of Michael Myers. There are no more numbers until Halloween 2, but that's a whole different timeline, and that's a reboot.
What about H2O?
That's not a number. It's not the 20th movie.
That has a number in it.
But it's not the 20th movie. It's it's celebrating the anniversary of the original
movie about water.
It's not, though. There's no water theming or anything. But we're not talking about H2O next week. That's in 2 weeks. Next week, we're talking about Curse of Michael Myers, which I remember thinking was not good, but had a lot of fun with it. So I'm hoping it still holds up to not good, but fun. We will see if it does. If you like this podcast, 5-star review on whatever podcast app you may use. If you want to see our pretty little faces, head on over to youtube.com/horrorboys, where you can see us. Sorry, not youtube.com/@horrorboys. If you go to youtube.com/horrorboys, I don't know what that would do. Probably nothing. But @horrorboys would take you to us. And then if you want to support us directly, patreon.com/horrorboys. I have been Austin, joined as always by Chris, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.